13 of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore, seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue? Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV.
Tonight on Tower Talks, UT Austin President Jay Hartzell visits Capitol Hill to get the support for the university's artificial intelligence initiatives. More on the university's AI programs. Students continue protesting Texas's diversity, equity, and inclusion ban. Find out more on how this affects students and the UT community. Election Day is coming up on May 4th, and early voting opened today. Stay tuned to find out more on what's on the ballot. And finally, later tonight, we'll sit down with our graduating seniors as they reflect on their time at TSTV and UT. All this coming up on Tower Talks. Good evening and welcome to Tower Talks, the show where we take a closer look at the stories affecting Texans, Austinites, and students right here at UT Austin. I'm Samantha Pearl, and tonight we'll be reflecting on our seniors' time here at TSTV and at UT Austin. But before we get into that, there's a lot going on right now here on campus. On Tuesday, UT Austin's President Jay Hartzell visited Capitol Hill to meet with members of Texas's congressional delegation in order to seek support for the university's artificial intelligence initiatives. According to the Austin American-Statesman, 4 months ago, the University of Texas said that 2024 would be, quote, the year of AI, end quote. In fact, last year, UT launched a Master of Science in Artificial Intelligence, the only master's degree program in AI from the top-ranked institution. The university is also working with the Army Futures Command for the rapid adoption and integration of the AI systems and robotics for the autonomous vehicles in a combat environment. Additionally, the Strauss Center for International Security and Law is conducting partially classified research on the rules of engagement for AI-powered military systems. On Capitol Hill, Hartzell encouraged leaders to invest in the public artificial intelligence and support UT's advancements in AI research and AI workforce development. Hartzell said that the investment is needed to make the universities like UT competitive against artificial intelligence in the private sector. The visit garnered support from key Texas legislatures, according to the university press release. U.S. Representative Tony Gonzalez, a representative from San Antonio and a member of the House Appropriations and Homeland Security Committees, said, quote, "I look forward to working alongside my colleagues in Congress and President Hartzell on this important initiative," end quote. During Hartzell's visit, UT Burnt Orange advertisements were unveiled to 2 metro stations promoting UT as, quote, "the epicenter of AI excellence," end quote. Students continue to protest as university leaders move to comply with the state's diversity, equity, and inclusion ban. After the university fired nearly 60 staff members and closed several DEI-related offices to comply with the SB 17, the state's anti-DEI bill UT Austin students created a protest movement called Not Our Texas and have been participated in hosting protests during the past month. Last Monday, over 200 students performed a virtual sit-in by entering a virtual faculty council meeting conducted by University President Jay Hartzell. Students logged onto the meeting with a black background that read, quote, "No DEI, not out Texas." In red letters on Instagram, Not Our Texas is planning to host a rally in solidarity as the first UT staff this Thursday, noon at the UT Tower. At the UT Staff Council meeting last Thursday, Hartzell said that the university has recouped about $10 million in recurring costs from cut programs and salaries, which will now go back in research and teaching. He said that decision was due to conservative pressure to comply further with SB 17, and further changes are not expected. ACC ordering to the Austin American-Statesman. Meanwhile, the state is building pressure for the universities to comply with the law. State Senator Brandon Creighton, the author of the law, wrote the letter to the Texas Public University leaders with the question about DEI compliance that they are expected to answer by May 3rd. Additionally, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has signaled enforcement of the DEI ban as a high priority in the upcoming session and last month. Governor Greg Abbott said that more laws will be passed to ensure the schools are stripping DEI from their campuses. 2024 is a crucial election year. Through the presidential election is still 6 months away. Here in Austin, early voting opened today for local elections. On this ballot, voters will choose the next mayor, city council members, propositions, school district board of trustees, and more. What voters will be able to vote for depends on their district. In Travis County, residents will get to vote on 3 board seats for the Travis Central Appraisal District, which assesses property values and determines property taxes that residents pay for the first time. 6 local districts will also get to vote on whether to leave the city of Austin. If the district chooses to leave, those areas will no longer be affected by the tax and won't have access to certain city services like Austin Police and Austin Fire, and instead have those services provided by Travis County. Early voting ends April 30th, and the deadline to submit a mail-in ballot application is on April 23rd. Election Day will take place on May 4th. Student voters can attend polls around Austin and, as usual, here on UT's campus at the LBJ School of Public Affairs in the Flan Academic Center. And finally, later tonight, our seniors will reflect on their time at the university. But first, TSTV News reporter Maynard Serene and Kevin Myers spoke with various members of the newsroom about what the seniors mean to them.
She seems very sweet and very nice.
Nicest, sweetest person, honestly, that I've ever met.
Among the things I love about Sasha, I love her resilience. She's overcome a lot of difficult challenges in college. And also her empathy. I mean, she never hesitates to help a friend. She never hesitates to pick me up on a bad day.
She is someone that I could literally talk to for hours about anything and everything, and she actually listens and she actually sympathizes.
She jumped into Tower Talks and she hosted one of our first panels.
She did a great job of making the panel run very smoothly, and all the panelists were very comfortable kind of riffing off of each other.
She killed it. She did a great job, and I'm so glad that she joined us this semester.
The epitome of a true friend.
She is the definition of a true advocate and a true friend.
I want Sasha to know that she's absolutely crushing it. She is going to kill it in LA, and life will pay her back for all the good she's done by people. I'm very proud of her, and that all her friends are proud of her.
And Sam has always been so kind in helping me out with anything that I need.
She's a wonderful person. She really knows her stuff. She's super kind. She always has a bright smile, always brings the vibes up.
She'll smile and just look so happy and just kind of brighten the room with her conversation.
Truly one of the very most positive people I know.
During the actual show, even though it's usually very stressful, she's always very calm and collected.
Just a pleasure to work around. She's very very nice, very bubbly. She gets her work done very quickly and makes the show very efficient.
She always strives to be the best she can when she TDs. She holds herself to that standard, and I really admire that about her.
I know she's a god at sports, so.
Okay, Sam, listen up. You put in so much work leading up to this that you're so very well prepared for the future. I know you can do it. At the end of the day, whatever you're doing, I know you can do it, whether you do or not.
So tell me what you love about Sophie.
Oh, next question. No, I'm joking. Please don't put that in.
I love that Sophia is always so just bubbly and full of life.
Even if she's not having a good day herself, she's always striving to make sure we all have a good day.
This is my first semester knowing her, and I feel like she's sort of taken me under her wing, and she is consistently asking how I'm doing every week.
She's just a very kind person. I tend to be a little bit on the quieter side, and she would always make a point to greet me and talk to me during pitches.
I remember my first time coming to primetime, I was just so terrified because there's so many new people, but she was the first person who came up to me and just kind of helped introduce me to everyone else and helped me feel welcomed into the community.
She's a very easy person to talk to. She's always willing to listen to you.
She really, really knows how to talk to people and just be really, really nice and open to people.
She's serving on the daily, as I'd like to put it.
She's very personable. I really like how social she is. She's very outgoing, and she makes sure that everybody feels included.
She's a very reliable person. She's always someone you can go to.
And she was definitely there for me in a way that very few other people were.
She's always strives to make really personal relationships with us outside of the newsroom, and I think that's really important that I have a friend in her.
Thirteen of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore, seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue? Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good morning, Longhorns. Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV.
Welcome back to Tower Talks. I'm Kate Gomez, and I'm here with our panel of seniors. On the far right, we have Samantha Pearl. Sam will be graduating this semester with a Bachelor's of Science in Radio, Television, and Film, and a minor in Sports Media. Next, we have Sophia Kurtz. Sophia is majoring in Journalism and Informatics with a concentration in Human-Centered Data Science. And right here next to me, we have Sasha Faye Haynes. Sasha will also be graduating with a Bachelor of Science in RTF. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Yeah, that was so formal. But you know, let's just get straight into it. I'm gonna get a bit broad and talk about like the university overall first. So this is just a question for all of y'all. What's something you wish you knew as a freshman?
That's a toughie.
I'll start. I think what major I wanted to be in, because I went to the school undeclared, which you can't really do that anymore. But also, I guess everything college, my mom went to university in the Philippines, and my dad dropped out of university, so I didn't quite know like everything about what to do, but I think it worked out in the end.
I think for myself, I wish that as a freshman I knew that it was okay to fail. Just like failure is just a part of life, as sad as that is. Like nobody likes failing, nobody wants to fail, but it's just inevitable. And I remember when I was a freshman, I just put so much pressure on myself that I had to like get all A's, and I had to do a million things, and you know, I definitely like my grades sort of like defined me, and then as my classes got harder, it was more difficult to like maintain that sort of like A average streak, and I had to definitely learn that it's okay to fail, it's okay to not do super well in a class or on an assignment or something. It doesn't like add or subtract like value to me as a person, and I wish I could just tell like 18-year-old Sophia that pretty much.
I think for me is that I can be myself around people. Coming to college was really rough. It was our COVID year. I struggled a lot. I'm sure you guys might have had your struggles too, but I was a very different person back then. So coming to college, it was really nice to just be myself and be my silly, goofy, have my silly, goofy ways, and you know, become friends with so many types of different people, which has been like amazing. But I just wish, like, if I would have known, I could have. I guess I didn't hold back, but you know, if I was telling my younger self that, I would do that. Yeah.
So I think what we've like all learned is that it definitely gets like easier with time, and I think we come in like super stressed, and now look at us. We're all here. So like, kind of transitioning, what's the, what moment at UT had the biggest impact on you?
That's tough.
These are some good questions. These are good questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll start. I think just like the people that I've met, I think that generally, for me as like a person, the people in my life definitely are what make my life. And so I've met like my bridesmaid, like my future bridesmaids, the future's like aunts and uncles to my children and stuff at university, and just like doing TSTV and stuff. And so I guess there's not really one specific moment at UT that's like that's had the biggest impact on me, but I guess just like the people that I've met along the way, like in those moments, I guess, are what's had the biggest impact on me.
I think I think I'll go next. This one is during my sophomore year. I just transferred into public relations and it's like trying to figure out what student orgs I wanted to be a part of. And I'd been to the general meeting for Texas Student Television, but I was pretty shy back then. I was like, oh, I don't really know exactly where I fit in, but I had joined I had joined like one show Next Week Now, and I didn't really like talk a lot. I don't think I said a word for like 2 months in any of the meetings that I did went, but when I got asked to like be a part of a segment, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I don't really know what's going on, but oh my goodness, this is a lot of lead up. But like the actual like moment was when one of the producers like offered me a ride home. But first we went to like Whataburger and just talked about like life and stuff. And that was when I started to actually open up. I started to branch out to other shows at Texas Student Television, like Longhorn Late Night, Sneak Peek, Tower Talks, Local Live. I was able to like open up. I met my current boyfriend through this organization. I met so many like friends, and it made me realize like what I actually want to do with my life. So it's a simple thing, but it helped a lot.
I think for me, so sophomore year was a really good change in which, because we had TSTV all on like Zoom, so I got to meet people in person, but I was always involved in the sports department up until the beginning of this school year. But from learning how to video edit, like in the CMA with a mask on from the former sports director, and then making videos for them, and then being asked to be the executive producer for College Press Box is really what like changed my whole like trajectory, I guess, because that allowed me to expand my shell and just meet all kinds of people and feel more confident about myself, I suppose, because I used to be pretty shy, and maybe still am. But from that moment on, like, I've just had so many amazing opportunities, like at TSTV and at UT, and I am so thankful for that, and like all the people I've met along the way. But one specific moment was when John Kelly and Marcus Verizon asked me if I wanted to be EP of College Press Box. That was pretty. That was a game changer for sure, because it changed, like, you know, my whole path at TSTV, seeing other side of everything. And I had that show, and it was like my baby for like nearly 2 years. So yeah, and that's how I got involved in. I was already involved in sports, but got involved with sports news, and now I'm here. So.
Thanks, guys. That's so cute that, like, I don't know. I feel like everyone mentioned TSTV. So, speaking of TSTV, how did y'all end up here? I know Sasha kind of answered this question, so how did y'all... Sam also kind of answered this question, but...
I can go first.
Yeah, go for it.
So, in high school, I was a part of it was like the football video crew, and we broadcasted the football games. And I hadn't liked sports all my life. I became a sports fan in high school, actually. But so I was on that crew, and I had a moment, I think it was like sophomore year of high school. No, probably junior year, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I applied to a bunch of different schools, and UT was one of them. It was like the one that I was like, I don't think I can get in here, but I should try. And so I applied, and here we are. From doing that in high school, there was one show in particular that caught my eye, which was TSTV Game Day, which I am still in charge of now, which is crazy. But that show, filming live club sports, was pretty special to me, because that was that's what made me realize that I liked doing live TV production. So I mainly joined for TSTV Game Day, and then I got warped in on to the sports shows, but I personally at the time didn't have any interest in doing anything else, just TSTV Game Day, which is funny. But I always had an interest in doing news. I'm not going to say, I wish I got involved sooner, but I'm not going to live with any regrets. Yeah, so I was always into news, and I have been into sports for, I don't know, since high school, I guess. So that's how I got here, was through TSTV Game Day, and then got wrapped into the sports department, entertainment, news. Here we are.
So I'm a journalism major. My high school, I don't really know how I got into this program, to be honest, because I had no sort of journalism experience in high school or anything. My high school didn't have like a school paper. We didn't have like a news broadcast. We didn't have any broadcast, actually. I just like was good in English class, and it was just more, there was a more like set trajectory if you were a journalism major versus like an English major, so that's why I went into journalism, actually. But I knew that like the job market isn't great for journalists. Like, that's not a secret. I get clowned on it like every single day that I'm like not gonna have a job. But you know, when I like came to UT, I knew that there was a Daily Texan, and then I was like, well, surely there's like a broadcast news something. So I literally I think I just Googled like UT Austin, like broadcast journalism, like whatever, and that's how I found TSTV, and I just like went to the interest meeting. Like 30 minutes late, it was super embarrassing because it was just like a huge room, like in an auditorium, and everyone was quiet, like listening to I think it was Madison King at the time, and I just like was super disruptive, and I was like, oh wow, like don't perceive me. Yeah, and then I joined the news department. I joined Texas News Primetime first, which was our evening news show. And I was just like a general member at first, and then I slowly clawed my way to the top of the department. Yeah, that's how I got involved with TSTV.
Yeah. I wish I had a more, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of crazy that, Sasha and Samantha, y'all two found TSTV TSTV News a bit late. I know Sasha came from the entertainment department, Sam came from the sports department. So this is just a question for y'all two. How do you think working in different departments enhanced your experience with news?
I think
question.
Different departments news. So I think what is it? Especially for Tower Talks, I think going from entertainment to Tower Talks helped me like prepare to. Oh my goodness, read like the stories from the teleprompter and such, because I feel like had I done it the opposite way, like where like read a more like serious news prompt, I would have fumbled significantly worse. Where like being with like entertainment, you kind of, I think having like the confidence, charm, that's something I think, at least I hope, I bring to like the different departments I've participated in, and it's always great to meeting people with like different interests, different backgrounds. It's always a great joy.
I think for me, because sports and news kind of overlap in some ways, and so I always had an interest in news. I just wasn't ever able to join because being sports director and like EP of 2 shows was a lot to handle at once. So that's why I wasn't able to join. But I feel like having as I talked about earlier, like being in the sports department has made me come out of my shell, and through going on air, shout out to Daniel Shee, who made me go on air my first time for college press box Zoom 2020. He was like, you might want to try this. I know you might not like it, but you should try it. And so I went on air and I talked about basketball. But if you didn't push me, I wouldn't have done it. And since then, I've gone on to talk about F1, basketball, football. So if I wasn't pushed to go on air, then I wouldn't have been able to be sitting here and talking in front of the camera. And I don't really know how that happened. I guess I suppose just being able to present myself in front of a group of people, leading a department, and having to reply to emails for communication people and things like that. I think that's probably what's prepared me. Yeah.
Nice. And y'all have all worked on so many things throughout TSTV and throughout your time at TSTV. So across all the shows and all the departments, everything you've worked on, what's your favorite package, project, episode, segment? What are you most proud of?
I gotta think.
That's hard.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a cheesy answer, but I honestly feel like I'm proud of everything that we create. Even that seems like such a cop out, but I don't know. Even the shows that maybe don't go so hot, I'm still you know what? But at the end of the day, we all came together. We all tried our best. We all gave it our 100%, and that's all that's all I could ask for as a department director. Is just that everybody's happy and learning, and it's a learning experience. It's a learning curve at the end of the day. So. I'm proud of everything that we do in the news department. Yeah, I don't know. It's like picking your favorite child. There's no one thing that I'm most happy or proud about. So that's my cop out answer.
I got one. Actually, can I say two? I'll keep it brief. So when I was directing College Press Box, I remember there was one episode in particular. I forget what it was called, but this was probably in 2022. It was about Texas, Alabama. I think it was when Texas lost, whatever year that was. And so I remember that show. It was nearly perfect, and I always strive to make directing like perfect. And so I was really proud of that one, and it also got around 200 views, I think. So that's a lot for us. And then secondly, the other thing that I would talk about is the Texas Yukon package I made in December. That was pretty special for me because I love University of Connecticut. My mom's from Connecticut. I have a connection to Connecticut. And so I've always loved them, and I love, UT. And so it was really special to cover that game for TSTV Sports and being able to make a package, being on the court at the Moody Center and see, because I didn't have a favorite team. I liked both of them, so I didn't pick a favorite. But that was really special, and actually being able to, because through that I've been able to use my journalistic skills, and so I saw on YouTube it got around 800 views, which I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane, because I don't consider myself a journalist, but how that happened, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Yeah, so I loved making that package. It was just a really special moment for me because I had a connection to both teams.
Oh my goodness, this is tough. I think, yeah, I kind of have a similar answer to Sophia. I can't just pick one. I'm just so happy to get to work with everyone and see everyone's work be shown and appreciated. I know that's a really short answer, but yeah, that's the best I can answer.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is kind of something that y'all have all touched on again, but how do you think you've grown while at TSTV? How tall were you when it started?
I have haven't grown since 8th grade. I'm still 5'4".
I can go. So I talked about earlier how I used to be really shy and a scared little freshman. And then I come to this building and this place, and I meet so many different people. I have so many different experiences going behind the camera, going on the camera, reporting, filming games. I might be forgetting something. Editing, like, it's just, I've learned so many from those skills. It's really taught me about like my own like personal skills, like talking with people, how to present myself, how to be confident, how to hold your head high, deal with conflict. I just feel like I'm such a different person than I was 4 years ago, and I'm really thankful for all the experiences I've been able to have here and the people that I've met, because if I didn't go here and I went to DePaul University instead, you know, like, it would have been completely different, and I wouldn't have had the same experience. And I'm so thankful I chose this school, and, you know, everybody who I became friends with and everyone who crossed my path. So yeah, a bunch of different skills. I think I've changed a lot in a good way. But yeah, I feel like I'm ready to go out in the world.
I can go if you don't have.
Yeah, I might need to think more.
I can go. I feel like it's kind of obvious, but my journalism skills have definitely grown since joining the news department. Like, I knew nothing about like how to work a camera, how to set up a microphone. Kevin Myers might argue I still don't know how to set up a microphone, but you know, lighting, editing, just like a lot of just like very technical broadcast stuff. I knew nothing about that when I first joined, and now I feel like moderately pretty comfortable. I'm not going to say I'm a pro or anything like that, but I think that I could like work in a newsroom like pretty adequately with the skills that TSDB has taught me. So I think from a professional stance, in just a very like obvious, glaring way, that's how I've grown. But in a more like personal way, you know, I definitely have learned like leadership skills, and just like how to be a good leader, how to be there for people, how to be a good mentor for people, just like more like sociable skills. Like, we have to be here for like hours on end on a Monday of all days, and like, you know, a lot of people are like, okay, like I have homework, I have exams, like we're all busy, but you know, definitely just learning how to make it like worth everybody's time, and just stuff like that. I don't. It's helped me develop my people skills. Is basically what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I think in terms of growth, there's a lot, so I'm going to try to keep it brief. But I definitely have grown in exploring my own interests and what I'm good at. I feel like, and it's like I've learned how to deal like with people in general, nice people, very, 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 very difficult people. I think I've become more confident. I've been able to be more humorous, allegedly. And like, yeah, like being more confident on the camera has translated like to me being more comfortable with acting for single cam, and acting is something I do want to pursue to some extent once I move out to California. But I think most importantly in terms of growth, like I've learned how to stand up for myself, especially when dealing with uncomfortable situations or like people who like we may not always agree with, because there's always haters around, unfortunately, and life's not fair, and it can be cruel and a whole lot. There's always stuff going on, but I think like I've learned to be resilient, and it's something I want to carry with me, like beyond TSTV, and when I like move out to out of state, which is so scary. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
I think a lot of people see TSTV News as just like predominantly like journalism majors, and I know Sam and Sasha are RTF majors. So this is a question for the two of y'all. Why did you decide to come to the news department?
I decided to go to the news department. I've had a little bit of experience with journalism, although fairly limited. I've taken one journalism class before, and I used to write for the Daily Texan for 2 semesters, and I was thinking to myself, I've been involved in so many shows and stuff. I gotta try the news department. It's my last semester. This is unmarked territory. I want to, and broadcast journalism is something I genuinely am interested in. So that's why I'm here. Also, there's my great friends Samantha, Sophia. Yeah, they've definitely encouraged me too.
Well, I think so. Sophia and I have known each other for a couple years, not as well, but up until before this year, school year, I should say. But what?
It's just funny to start.
Whenever I was directing Press Box, Primetime's right after us, so I always saw Sophia, and so we kind of got to know each other. We saw each other, and I always said to her, I want to come to news. You remember me saying that, right? I was like, I want to come to the news department. I want to learn how to do news, and so that time didn't come till this semester, which I really wish I would have got into it sooner, but oh well. Yeah, as I mentioned, sports and news kind of transferable skills, and I had interest in both. And, if sports doesn't work out for me, then I want to go into news. And lately I've been thinking more on the news path, because news has everything and sports just has sports. And so, which isn't a bad thing, but for me, I just think having a more well-rounded, I guess, career path for me is best. But I want to join the news department because of that. And I remember one day in the CMA lobby, I was sitting with Ariba, shout out in the back. I was with Ariba, and I think I was with Joseph. And she was mentioning to me that they needed a technical director for their new show, Tower Talks. And so I was like, oh, what's that? And so she explained it to me, and I was like, oh, that sounds great. And so I was like, I already have TD experience. I loved TD. And so, she signed me up, basically. And so I came here, and I've been their TD since the beginning of the semester. I'm so glad I did that, because I've learned so much with the equipment back there and met so many wonderful people in the news department. And shout out Aiden, who's TDing right now. Shout out everybody in the back. Shout out everybody right here. I've loved my time here, and I'm so thankful that I joined, because it made me learn a different interest that I didn't exactly knew I had. So I'm very thankful for Ariba and Sophia for allowing me to have the opportunity to, TD and do something that I love, because I've always loved TDing since being a part of the station here. So I'm really glad that you guys offered that to me. And so, yeah, thank you both.
Yeah, I'm grateful too. My besties are in the news department. I was friends with Sasha and Sam before they joined, and now I feel like we're even closer friends now, which obviously I'm very thankful about and grateful for. So it's just all around positive experience joining the news department. I don't know. Something with the news department.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, so when we come back, we'll keep talking to our seniors about their time at TSTV and at UT Austin, so stay tuned.
13 of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue? Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV.
13 of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue?
Welcome back to Tower Talks. For those of you just tuning in, we're joined by Samantha Pearl, Sophia Kurtz, and Sasha Faye Haynes. So this is a question for all of y'all. Is there anything specific you brought from other shows to news?
In any other shows in any of the departments. This is probably more of a question for Sam and Sasha.
I've mainly been involved in technical directing, so I guess I'd say technical directing would be that skill, because I've directed, TD'd and directing by like voice, saying words from being in sports. So I feel that I learned that from there, and as I said earlier, I had always had an interest in doing news, and I wanted to get involved, so then, because news and sports they have pretty transferable skills. So I wanted to get involved in both. And I was already working on a sports news show anyways, so I was like, oh, I already have a little bit of journalistic background, I want to get in. But, yeah, I'd have to say technical directing, the piece of machinery in the control room that changes all the cameras and the graphics and records. It shows you what we're seeing right now. So, yeah.
I think for me it's positivity, weirdly enough, because especially for Tower Talks, we do cover some pretty serious topics, and I learn more about them this is really like sad, but I think like being like optimistic and still able to have a good time like during this show with like all my peers, I think I'd like to think that's something I brought from other shows here.
Yes. And what are y'all's favorite news memories?
I have one.
That's fast.
It was whenever excuse me, I was leading panel for a discussion on women's sports coverage in universities, and someone I think like they had brought up a very good point, that like unfortunately like it's sometimes in the past been really hard to incentivize people to go to women's sports games, but this moment stood out to me because it was pretty funny but true, and he criticized people for like wanting to go see Madam Web over seeing like one free women's basketball game at UT, and it took everything in me not to laugh because I did see the movie and I wish I could have seen a women's basketball game. Like he got me. He got me there, and yeah.
Yeah. I specifically remember it was during the mock shows. It was my first time ever being a part of the news department. I already knew a couple of people, but I didn't know many. So I was kind of going in, and I didn't know completely like what to anticipate like during the night. But that's when I made a bunch of mistakes, and I learned and I got better. And so through technical directing, Tower Talks. But I remember I sat specifically for prime time. I sat over there and I got on sports and I went on a rant about how women's basketball, they need more viewers. And so that was pretty fun to talk about because they do deserve the coverage that they should get because they're just as good as the men's team. But I really liked that night where we all like huddled around each other and we all took like a group photo because I'd never known anything else really besides sports, and then my time still being a part of like Stud and Next Week Now. So I'd never really experienced anything in news. So it was really nice just like meeting everybody and seeing how the shows work and yeah, just meeting everybody. So that's my favorite memory. But I mean, I've loved like my whole time here. So whether it's Ariva, Tyler, and I cracking up in the back when I'm switching everything, and Sophia when we're like texting about something. Yeah. So I got a bunch of memories. It's hard to pick one, but that's one that can stick out in particular. Every show we crack up in the back, and and so yeah, it's a good time, and I've really enjoyed it. So.
I feel like I've accumulated a lot of memories and news over the last 3 years. It's hard to pick just one. And the ones that do come to mind are more of like, again, sort of like the more social aspect of being a part of this organization, and less so of like kind of more professional examples that Sasha and Sam chose. One of them, I remember we did like a really, really impromptu karaoke night at Moody's. It was like when they used to do like over 18, and now it's over 21, which is like super rude, but like it used to be over 18, and a bunch of us just like, it was very like last minute, just like went to Moody's for karaoke night on a Thursday, and that was a lot of fun. And then another one, I had brought a boyfriend at the time to one of our shows, and he was like a whole foot taller than me, and I remember Hope Vanderberg said in the group chat he looks like he's gonna fly away because of his because he had like broad shoulders. Sorry.
Did he fly away?
Well, from my life.
Or, oh
no. But I feel like there's like a good memory every week, honestly. It's hard to pick just one, but those are some good. Anytime we get like the giggles on air when we're supposed to be like really serious, those are always fun for me, even though it's like technically like messing up and you're not supposed to giggle on air, especially during like news. I feel like it's very like serious matters and whatever, but you know, I think it's like, you know, we're all teenage girls at the end of the day. Like, we're all just like 20-something-year-old teenage girls. So I think that just every week is a new memory, a new favorite memory of mine in the news department.
Yeah, I begged Ariba to if I could write some like funny questions, and she said no. So no, I'm 100% joking. So what's your least favorite news memory?
Ooh, I don't know if I want to say this on air, to be honest. Why doesn't Sasha and Sam go first?
I'm just bringing this out here because yeah, we're on the news, but also I'm coming from entertainment. Like I'm just trying to have some fun.
I don't think I really have one. I mean, all my experiences have been positive, so
that must be nice.
Sorry.
I'm
Well, I've had really great experiences on news.
Yeah, no, that was like, y'all don't have to answer.
Oh, we don't.
It's like,
That I could say a silly question, but I don't have anything in my mind. So what's the biggest thing that you'll take away from your time here? Like something that you can use later in your career?
I think for me, definitely like editing skills, just like using Adobe Creative Cloud, like Photoshop and Premiere Pro and After Effects and stuff like that. You know, just like using a camera, using microphones, lighting, stuff like that. Just like, I mentioned it earlier, but just like those more like technical broadcast skills that I've learned over the last 3 years.
I think for me, I mean, so many different skills. Editing, I learned how to video edit here using Premiere Pro, learn how to make graphics, learn how to use microphone, everything technology based pretty much that I've touched in this room. And I don't know, people skills, just being able to have all these experiences made me more of a well-rounded individual, I think. And I'm really thankful for being able to learn the skill of directing and technical directing, because that's something I've always had an interest in, and that's like when I learned that I want to be it's like my dream to be a director or technical director at a news station or you know, a sports TV station. So, you know, through TSTV, like, it's definitely allowed me to think about having those different skills, and through all these experiences has made me really grow as a person individually, and everyone who I've come across in my path. But yeah, so many skills. I can't even count them. But yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot, but I think the ability to be open-minded, I think, is a huge one for me, because it's never too late to try new things, and like I've had such a good time, like met so many really great people, and just the open-mindedness to like try different like career or explore different career paths, I think will help me out for life.
And what's something that y'all wish you picked up earlier?
As a skill?
Or? Yeah. I mean, y'all are your seniors. You know, what's something you wish you learned, or like you could, you know, go back and be like, oh hey, do this, you know, like as a freshman or whenever you first started?
This is very much like a journalism answer, so I don't know if our viewers are gonna get it, but like learning AP style would have been super. Yeah, or if you've written for the Texan or any sort of like print publication, AP style is basically just like the grammar and punctuation and syntax rules in journalism that like every print journalist has to follow, and it somewhat pertains to broadcast as well, but that's definitely a skill that I wish I had picked up sooner, because I was always like losing marks on that for my classes because I didn't learn it like in high school or anything. So that's definitely a skill I wish I would have picked up sooner.
I think a skill I wish I would have picked up sooner is better use of time management. I know I talked a lot about trying new things and stuff, but I think it's also something I wish I could have known a few years ago starting out is it's okay to have change or to leave something that doesn't serve you anymore, that isn't helping you grow or making you happy. I think what is it being able to manage what makes you happy, what helps bring you success. It can be tricky, and I think often sometimes some people might feel obligation to different projects and stuff, but that it's okay to want to take a step back and take care of yourself too. And I wish I learned that a few years ago. Yeah.
I wish earlier I would have learned how to be a leader, I guess, because it took me a while to break out of my shell, and I feel if I didn't have the opportunities I had, then I wouldn't have known how to be a leader and how to be able to present myself in front of people, talk on air right now. I think if I would have become a leader sooner, then that would have helped me and I would have felt more confident about myself, because, you know, I have struggled with self-esteem issues. So I just, I am really thankful for the time I've had here and being able to explore that aspect of TSTV, because it's prepared me to be a, you know, better person, I guess. So, yeah.
Thank you, guys. I just listened to all of the people, you know, apply and present to be the editor-in-chief and the managing editor of the Daily Texan, and I don't know how many times I've heard AP style in the last 4 or 5 days. But yeah, on to my next question. What will y'all miss the most?
About TSTV? Or just...
Yeah, just about TSTV and just kind of having that comfort of I don't know, being here in college and yeah.
I'm gonna miss my friends, I think, that I made here. Yeah, luckily there's a lot of TSTV people out in Los Angeles, but I'll definitely be missing lots of people for sure. But I'll be really happy for them because I know they're gonna do great.
Same for me, just all of my friends that I've made over the last 3 years, working in the news department. I've made my best friends doing this, so, you know, it's going to be hard graduating, and I'm going to be leaving the state for grad school, so I'm not gonna be around. I mean, I'll be 3 hours away by plane, but you know, not around. And, oh gosh, what else will I miss? I honestly just the routine of it in a weird way, just that sort of consistency in your schedule, in your calendar of okay, on Mondays, this is where I have to be, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, this is where I have to be at this time, and just it's kind of muscle memory in a way. It's it's so silly, but if somebody's oh, do you want to hang out on 6 p.m. on Monday? And I'm nope, I can't, I have pre-production. And it's just gonna be a hole in my schedule and in my heart of pre-production and the shows and just the comfort, you said, of just been having done this for so long.
I also have to agree with the friends I've made here. Most of my time here has been with people in the sports department, but being a part of these different aspects in TSTV and being a part of the staff has allowed me to meet different people across other departments and know a lot of people who have passed by here. But I am really thankful for the friends I've made in sports, entertainment, and news. And, I think they've made me a better person, and I am really thankful for the friendships I've been able to have with people and friends for life. Yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna be, but I'll probably have to spread my wings and fly. So, but yeah, friends for life, as I said. Yeah, I will miss that for sure. But yeah.
Flying. Sick callback. What? What do you mean? Earlier joke.
Oh.
Come on. Pay attention to your fellow panelists. Come on. But yeah, let's switch to something that every college senior wants to talk about. Have you had any experience in real world TV broadcasting? Because I know y'all are like, oh, this is what no one wants to talk about. We're moving on. We're graduating, and I'm assuming that y'all want to go into broadcasting when you're after you leave. Have y'all had any experience like recently?
Not recently.
Or like while at UT.
While at UT, like
As a student?
I don't really have outside of TSTV broadcast experience. The best I got is in second grade. They were doing the news was filming some Earth Day thing at my elementary school, and I really wanted to be on camera, and I tuned in at the time they were going to air it, and they aired it, and I didn't make the final cut, and I cried. Why am I telling this story? But I mean, I made it on there eventually. It just took a while. But
you can tell tiny 7-year-old Sasha that you made it.
Yeah.
I don't know which camera we're looking at.
Yeah, I interned at KXAN last semester, which is just like a broadcast news station in Austin. So that's just kind of I guess, real-world broadcast experience that I've had. It wasn't so much being in front of the camera so much as it was a lot of shadowing actual reporters and helping make packages and stuff like that, and just kind of learning tricks of the trade and whatnot. I'm actually not going into broadcast immediately after graduation. I'm going to, for now, at least for the next maybe 2 years, leaning into my other major, data science. So I'm getting a master's in scientific data analytics.
Yay.
Thank you. So I will be in Carnegie Mellon this time next year somehow. So I have a little while until I have to enter sort of the broadcast world. But yeah, that's sort of my one internship experience that I have in broadcast.
For me, so this doesn't relate directly to what I want to do, but it has prepared me with skills that I will probably use. So over the past 2 years, I've been a producer and videographer for Longhorn Weekly, which is a men's basketball coaches show that airs on Longhorn Network. So over the past 2 years, I have been able to basically I record the show and then at Pluckers, and then I edit it, and then it goes in a Longhorn Network the next day. And so that's held to a pretty high standard because it goes on Longhorn Network. So they're very particular about how they want their show. So just video editing in general, I improved as an editor, and also with my filming skills. And also, I did UTNY over the fall, or not the fall, the summer, and although I didn't work in a control room, I was a digital video intern, and so I edited videos for them for all New York sports pretty much, and I wrote captions and descriptions for their website and YouTube channels, and I made graphics too, so I feel like that'll be pretty applicable to going into the broadcast industry, because although I wasn't directly in the facet of being in the control room, which was like down the hall from where I was working, but you know, I just think that it'll be useful for me to know in the future if I have to. I love video editing, so I don't know. Maybe I will do it at some point. I don't know, but yeah.
So what's next for y'all? What does the future have in store for y'all?
I mean, I touched on it a little bit. I'm going to grad school for now. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my goal is to be like disgustingly overeducated and then just like marry rich or something, because like these are kind of hard. Like, I don't know, programming's really hard. Yeah, but kind of combining that with journalism and broadcast in general. Ideally, the dream would be to do data reporting, so basically just finding like insights within data using like analytics and writing stories about it and just like reporting on it, or doing scientific journalism, which I have some background in already, and just like having that sort of more like technical data science background will like equip me with those skills as well. But at least for the near future, yeah, graduating in like what, 2 weeks? Something like that. Sorry. Yeah, graduating in in an undisclosed short-term amount of time, and then going to Carnegie Mellon for the next year.
I'm heading out to Los Angeles. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do yet there, but I'm moving out there with one of my best friends who was on a pre-recorded video. Her name's Simi. She's really great. Yeah, we're moving out together and like try to find something. I hope that no matter what I do, I can still be creative and have fun. Yeah.
For me, I don't know what's next. I don't have a job lined up quite yet, but I'm working on it. And I want to work at a TV station to technical direct or produce. So I don't know where I'll be yet. Hopefully I'll find out in a few weeks. We'll see. But yeah, doesn't really matter where I am. It's just I want to be able to do what I love to do. So. Yeah.
Nice, thanks. Good luck to all of y'all.
Thanks.
Moving out of Austin. And
You
stuff.
too.
Yeah. What are you doing after graduation? I mean, I guess you have another semester.
Yeah, I don't know, baby. That's something for me to decide in December. So yeah, do y'all have any final thoughts? Anything you want to say for the last time to the PSTV News viewers?
Oh my gosh. I'll say something.
I just want to express, like, to Ariba and Sophia for giving me the opportunity. don't cry. For giving me the opportunity to be a part of this show, because. As I've mentioned, I always wanted to be a part of news, and I got to do like the one thing that like I love to do, and so I'm really, really thankful for that. And although I've only been a part of the news department for a semester, I have known like several people in the department for a couple years. So I am really thankful for everybody who I've met here and who's taught me and you know, hang out in pre-production every Monday and pitch meetings when I'm able to go and hanging out afterwards. It's just been a great group of friends, and so I'm really thankful for the friendships I've been able to make here, and I'm looking forward to keep having those and talking with everyone. But I guess it hasn't hit me yet that I'm leaving. It will soon, I think. Yeah, I will miss it here at THTV for sure, because it holds a special place in my heart, and it means a lot to me and everybody here. So thank you for letting me into the news department. Thank you to everybody who allowed me to get to the place I was in sports, and for everybody at entertainment for allowing me to join your shows, and to Kate, you and I have been great friends. We bonded over F1, and so we talked about this on our F1 show the other day, that we both have really valued our friendships with one another, and I'm really thankful to have a great friend like you, and you know, because there's not a lot of F1 fans out in the world, and obviously we've bonded over other stuff, but I just think that, you know, you're a great friend, you're a great individual, you're really good at your job, and you're a really great person, so thank you. And so are you guys too. So I Sasha and Sophia, what were you laughing?
No, it's just y'all doing.
Sasha and Sophia, you both are great friends, and I'm so thankful that we've become close, and Sasha, you and I have become closer over this past year, and I'm really thankful for that, doing some Longhorn late night together. And Sophia, like, we've known each other for a little while, and I'm really glad that this year we really got to get a lot closer. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you to everybody who's allowed me to be creative here and do what I love. So that was a really long answer, but yeah.
I think, yeah, I'm going to try to keep it brief. We're going to see. But yeah, thank you to the news department who's like welcomed me. Even though I'd been in TSTV for a while, I was like scared jumping into like new department, but like they're so supportive, really sweet. Yeah, thank you, Kate. I've known you like for quite a while. Thank you, like your great memories. Oh God, I don't know who to start with. Samantha, I'm so like happy we've gotten to get closer to each other like throughout time. Like I'm like so happy we've gotten to participate like in Tower Talks, Longhorn Late Night, and like you're awesome. Thank you for like showing me like cool places in New York City over the break. And Sophia, who I also saw in New York when I was there at the break. Oh my goodness. Yeah, thank you so much for being like an amazing friend. Yeah, you were like one of the first like close friends I've made like in TSTV like overall. Just thank you for being so supportive of me, and thank you to my boyfriend, Michael, and my friends, Donovan and Simi. Y'all nearly made me cry. Yeah, thank you.
God, I don't know what to say even. Like, this is so much pressure. Like, final thoughts ever on TSTV. It's a lot of pressure. I'm gonna try not to cry. You know, I remember when I was a sophomore and I joined, I was telling the guy I was seeing at the time, like, oh, I was going to join this org called Texas Student Television. He was like, nobody watches that. And ironically, he has his own show now, so that's funny. So that's how it worked out. And I was like, oh my God, why would he, like, oh my God, is he right? And he was so wrong. Like, it's so unbelievable. Like, I don't know being a student at UT without knowing like TSTV or just student media in general. Like, this has truly been my second home the last 3 years. And, you know, I've met, like I said before and earlier this episode, I've met my best friends, like the aunts and uncles to like my children and my future bridesmaids and bridesmen, I guess. We'll come up with a term or something. And you know, even if you don't like really, even if you don't want to do broadcasts, like this has been like so much fun. Like even just showing up in the community that like this organization fosters has been so special to me. And you know, thank you, Kate, for taking a chance on me and making me news director. I really appreciate you putting your faith in me. I know that it was probably a leap of faith. We also go way back a little bit, so you know, thank you to Sasha and Sam. I've known you both for like 3 years now, and I'm so happy that you guys joined news this semester. Better late than never. I'm so sorry I didn't go to entertainment or sports once, but I'm so grateful that you guys came. I'm so grateful to everybody in the news department. I love all of you guys so much, even you, Nick. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at goodbyes. I'm not good with send-offs. Thank you to Ariba and Tyler and Rayon in the control room. Love y'all to death. Everybody is so amazing and talented and are gonna do such amazing things one day. And I'm just like so excited to see what everybody does. And like I will definitely be keeping tabs. I'm gonna be living in the walls of this establishment. I'm gonna be the TSTV ghost. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, thank y'all. I don't know, Sasha and Sophia. I've known y'all since like sophomore year. I remember y'all. I don't know, just being here. The other day, Sophia, you asked me if I've like been feeling it yet. You know, like the end of TSTV, and I was like, no, not really. I'm feeling it right now, and I'm getting a little sad. And like Sam, we were literally like our freshman year. We were volunteer of the month, February like 2021 or something. It's you scroll down TSTV Instagram, it's a picture of you and I, so like we've come a long way, baby. And yeah, y'all have all served me on my staff well, and your roles well. So thank you all so much. Be sure to tune in next week for our season finale. You can follow us on social media, at TSTV Tower Talks on X, formerly Twitter, and at Tower Talks TSTV on Instagram. And from all of us here in the studio, thank you for joining us this evening, and good night.